well. He's talented, good looking, of course, and I believe still single and available. And he's only 27 years old. Okay, let's look at his position. He's currently the coordinator for DAP Kampa service team. And the most important is that he is from the Tanchong's family. So ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands up to welcome our next speaker, Douglas Tan.
Thank you. Terima kasih bergurusi majlis. Saudari-saudara, kawan-kawan sekalian, friends of TDDI, 大家晚上好. Good evening. Barangkali, Thai barangkali, tualagare, barakam. I have an announcement today to make before I go on with the rest of my speech. You just have to bear with me for about 15 minutes because we have a very special speaker coming up next. He is none other than our Saudara Tony Phua. So, for the next 15-20 minutes or so, while he comes, I'm here to entertain all of you. Dear friends of TDDI, dear friends of Segambut, are we ready for change? Are we ready for PR? Are you ready for BN?
No!
Are you ready for BN? No! I didn't hear you. Are you ready for BN? Are you ready for Pakatan Rakyat? Are you ready for the DAP? Are you ready for us to take Putrajaya? Ini Kalila! Ini Kalila! Oh yeah! Oh! Huan Zhengfu! Oh yeah! Oh! Huan Zhengfu! I am so glad to be back in KL. These past 8 months, I've been doing grassroots work in Kampa. So the fundamental question is that why on earth would a KL boy go all the way to Perak? Why would a KL boy go all the way to Kampa? And there's a very, very strong reason why. In 2009, Barisan National staged the unthinkable. Barisan National is a party which has no respect for the people's choice. They have no respect for the rule of law. In 2009, Barisan National orchestrated the jumping over of 4 Pakatan Rakyat reps. And in 2000, yes, the frogs. And I was working in Kampa, and one of the frogs is from Jelapang, and the other is from Malim Nawa. Malim Nawa is located in the Kampa parliamentary constituency. And these frogs went over, orchestrated by Barisan National. And that day, the Speaker of Perak, S. Sivakumar, was escorted out of the Dewan Undangan Negeri by the police who have no jurisdiction to go in. And guess what? Nobody did a thing. All of us just watched. Because actually, this has never happened in the history of our nation. But here we are, in 2013, more educated and more ready, not going to allow Barisan National to do this to us again. Yeah. I live in Bukit Tungku. You could say that I was born with a silver spoon because I am from one of the most prominent families, one of the most prominent Chinese families in the whole of Malaysia. My great-grandfather is none other than Tan Chong. My grandfather is Dato' Tan Kim Ho. And he, along with his brother, the late Tan Sri Tan Yat Fo, founded Tan Chong Motors back in the 1960s. And here is the issue. My grandfather, Tan Kim Ho, is also the MCA Bahagian Chief of Kebong Jenjang. So, ladies and gentlemen, saudara-saudari, saya ada soalan yang amat penting. Really important question. Why am I wearing the rocket symbol? Kenapa saya tidak masuk MCA? Why did I not go into the MCA? Because I want to tell all of you, saudara-saudari, the MCA has failed the Chinese community in Malaysia. They have sold themselves out, sold out their integrity to UMNO, And as our previous speakers have said, that during this general election, during the negotiations, we have seen so many of these seats given up willingly. Gelang Patah, up in Pahang, up in Perak, all these seats conceded to UMNO. Why? Because UMNO, UMNO stands for You Must Not Object. And MCA, all they want to do is protect their own pocket, because MCA, we were giving so many acronyms to it previously. But for me, it is the most corrupted association. The most corrupted association. Money conquers all. As Sadara here. Right here, we can see that it is very clear that the MCA that my grandfather went into, the MCA that was committed to education, the MCA that was committed to businesses, this is no longer the MCA of today. Right or not? Yes. It is not the MCA which we want to represent us. Because we have been playing to UMNO Barisan Nasional's tune of race must represent race, Malay must represent Malay, Chinese must represent Chinese, and Indian must represent Indian. And in that we have holistic representation. And I say to you, rubbish! I don't need the MCA to represent my interests. You don't need UMNO to represent your interests. You don't need the MIC to represent your interests. Why? Because the Rakyat Malaysia, we all represent ourselves, and so do the rest of them. They are only interested in representing themselves.
Lining their pockets.
And here is the issue. They continue to line their pockets. Of course, in Sarawak, my dear friend Julian Tan is the candidate, DAP candidate for stamping. And he tells me, Douglas, actually, you know this SUPP, in the latest manifesto, they said one of our top points on our manifesto is to fight corruption. I said, you must be joking, right? Who is that chief minister? Yeah, Taib Mahmud. Oh, lama susah lah. So how, if their top priority is to fight corruption, and yet their king, Mahmud, nothing happens to him, then how on earth are they going to then fight corruption? That's a very valid question. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to give you just rhetoric. I want to address some legitimate considerations. What happens when a Menteri Besar calls the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, naughty? Taib Mahmud said, I am not going to cooperate with the MACC. They have been very naughty. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the MACC is under which government? Is it Pakatan Rakyat?
Barisan.
No. It's under Barisan Nasional. And if Barisan Nasional's own government body cannot start an investigation into the Chief Minister of Sarawak, what hope is there for the rest of the nation? You know, when I am in Kampar, people say, hey, there are roads which are just, you know, willy-nilly built through people's lands. They are willy-nilly built through people's lands. What are we going to do? How are we going to protest? I said, how are you going to fight against a government which has no respect for the rule of law? There is no way that they can do this. I have a law degree from the University of Nottingham. But yet I decided, against everything, not to pursue my bar exam, not to pursue my CLP. Because if anybody is know my family, we have been through a lot of court cases. And I have seen the judicial system for how bad it is. In Malaysia, the judicial system is one which is corrupt to the core. And the lawyers in the legal profession, they all know this. Basically, at the end of the day, it is not really about the interpretation of law. It is about who carries the bigger suitcase to Singapore.